Welcome to Easy BTech, your guide for BTech and beyond. And Easy BTech helps the students to understand the concepts of different subjects easily, and they can prepare well for the examinations and they can score the marks. And this is also useful for your competitive examinations and placement drives also. So I am Chari. I teach engineering mechanics. In the previous video, I explained you the introduction of engineering mechanics. So in this video, I explain you the force systems. I already told you the force is an action which tends to move a body or which moves a body. And force has got SI unit, Newton. So this is given as capital letter N. So this is important. Most of the times students forget writing the units. In engineering, whenever you solve the problems, you need to indicate the units clearly. So this is important. And what is meant by a force system? All the forces acting on a body is known as a system. If more number of forces are acting on a body, so that particular one is known as the force system. Force systems are basically classified into two categories. One is coplanar force system and another one is non-coplanar force system. Coplanar and a non-coplanar force system. And what is meant by coplanar force system? If all the forces acting are acting in a single plane, then it is said to be coplanar force system. If the forces are not acting in a single plane but they are acting in different planes, then it is known as a non-coplanar system. That means coplanar system is related to the two-dimensional one, whereas a non-coplanar system related to the three-dimensional one or spatial system. So if you look at the coplanar force system, let us say this is a plane. So this one is a plane, and let us say the force F1 is acting here and force F2 and some force F3 and force F4 is acting on this plane. Then F1, F2 and F3, F4. So these forces are known as the coplanar forces. So these forces constitute the coplanar force system. So that means non-coplanar force system means here. So let us say this is X and this one is Y and this is Z. So this is a three-dimensional one. So if a force is acting here, let us say this is F1 and another force is acting here F2 and this force is acting some F3. So the forces are acting in different planes. So this constitutes the non-coplanar force system. And one more thing here is concurrent force system. What is meant by concurrent force system? If all the forces are meeting at one point, then that system is said to be concurrent force system. For example, if this is a point O, if let us say this is F1 and this one is some F2 and one more force is acting in this direction, let us say this is F3 and this one is F4 and this force is F5. If you look at this diagram, F1, F2, F3, F4, F5 are meeting at one point. Then this is said to be concurrent force system. Another one is collinear force system. What is meant by collinear force system? If all the forces are acting along a single line, same line, then they are said to be collinear force system. Let us say this is the line here, and if you're taken this is some F1, and let us say this force is F2, and one more force is acting towards right, this is F3. So if you look at this one, F1, F2, F3 are acting along the same line. So these are said to be collinear force system. And another force system is parallel force system. Parallel force system. What is meant by parallel force system? As the name indicates, the forces are parallel to each other. So here, so if you're taken a plane, let us say, so this force is F1 and this one is F2. Let us say another force is F3. If you look at these forces, all the forces are parallel to each other. So this F1, F2, F3 represents the parallel force system. In this one, if you take two parallel forces, if they are having the same direction, then we call them as like parallel forces. And if a force F3 and another force F4, these are parallel to each other, but if they are acting in opposite directions, then we call them as unlike parallel forces. Unlike parallel forces. And also we can take a combination also. Coplanar concurrent force system. It means forces are acting in the same plane as well as they are meeting at one point. So then we call them as a coplanar concurrent force system. So for example, if you take a plane here and the forces P and Q and R, these are meeting at a point O, then this system is said to be coplanar concurrent force system. Similarly, if the forces are meeting in the spatial system, then we call them as a non-coplanar concurrent forces. Similarly, coplanar collinear forces, coplanar parallel forces. So this combination can be taken. It has got both characteristics here. So this system of forces is important. First, you need to identify the system of forces, and based upon that, so we solve the problems. So in this video, so I explained you the different types of force system. So I wish you all the best.